wanted to discuss mainly about like sacred womanhood, um, and how that is impacted, especially like within Black women, because I think that is something that I wanted to definitely touch base on, is because there's so much going around at the moment with sacred womanhood, and it's interpreted in so much ways, and so it should be, because womanhood is sacred. Sacred Womanhood is sacred, but just wanted to know what that looks like for us as Black women, because that is the dialogue that is necessary, and how that kind of impacts us, what the sacred womanhood look like for us. So I'm happy to share, but I'm also happy to hear your input, sis.
Well, I think the conversation has changed from a few years ago. It was about woman empowerment, and now it's about sacred womanhood. I think we go through different phases of trying to find healing, and we move on to something else when something that we learned before wasn't working. And so, well, not that sacred womanhood wasn't always around. It's just that the majority of us weren't tapping into that space, and so now you find more women are exposed to sacred womanhood and divine femininity, and what does it all really mean. It's a good question. For me personally, it means getting in tune with who we are as women, in tune with it, embracing it, and sitting in it divinely, right? Learning all of the things that we are, how we move through this space, what our greatest gifts are as women. Some of the things are our creativity, one, we're able to bring life, our intuition, something that we don't really tap into anymore, but I believe that sacred womanhood really teaches us how to tap into that space and really feel more.
Yeah.
Because we feel us, as women, we always, as you say, we are our emotions. It's a reason why we're feeling this way, because everything is affecting us, even through our skin, we feel it, to our core. So those are some of the things I think that are important for women to tap into, knowing who you are as a woman, and embracing it and living healthily in it, because and not trying to be something that you're not. Womanhood is a beautiful thing, and it's a shame that we live in a culture, really, because we've been taken away from our traditions, our older culture, our ancient culture, which would teach us what womanhood means, because we go through rites of passages, into what, different stages of womanhood. And so we learn and know how to embrace it and not reject it, and not see it as weakness, and not see it as, we need to compare ourselves to men. We just be women.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. You said like you have to kind of sit with who you are. I feel like that really resonates, because I think that is like a higher consciousness of self-acceptance, sitting with who you are and understanding that all that you come with, all that you are, that essence, kind of pushing that through, has that sacredness. And I think as Black women, let's just start there. That is the core, that is the root. Black women is the core, it's the root of Mother Nature. We really hold a lot of powers, and we can't shy away from those powers that we hold as Black women. And I think that what you described as well is a lot to do with around your sensual chakra area. That's where I feel like you kind of touch base on. So I feel that really aligns with the line of work that you're in.
Sure.
Yeah. And I feel like for me as well, I think sacred womanhood is, like you said, just being who we are authentically, and just thriving in that essence of who we actually are as Black women. And I think understanding how we pour and nurture ourselves has a huge part to play in channeling our sacredness holistically. So knowing that we're having to be very conscious of how we pour into ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, and just knowing what we are consuming as women, and going from that transition, because sometimes I've learned on my own personal experience, there's been years in my womanhood that I didn't experience womanhood. You know, a lot of people, especially when you're early ages of womanhood, like your late teens or your early 20s, a lot of people are in their womanhood, rightfully, but not yet stepped into that womanhood of taking full ownership of who we actually are, and being able to show up in that essence.